going to discuss with you all the next part of male reproductive system, that is your seminiferous tubule. Children, in the last video we have discussed about the structure and dimensions of testis. Today we are going to move ahead. We are going to move further to the internal anatomy of the testis. That is, we are going to study in detail the internal structure of testis. You can see that I have drawn on the board the internal structure of the testis. The structure we have discussed in the last video too. But again, little bit description, little bit with explanation, I will be moving to the internal parts of the testis. Now you can see that I have drawn this testis over here. This is the outermost layer of the testis. We have studied the structure, outer membrane and all, we have studied that. Now we will be moving to our today's topic is seminiferous tubule. So we will be discussing about the seminiferous. So in the internal part of the testis, you can see this orange color lining I have drawn. These are the small tubules. And now you know that these tubules are called as testicular lobules. Now inside this testicular lobules, very fine coiled-like structures are present, and these fine coiled-like structures are called as seminiferous tubules. I told you all that within each testis, about 250 small compartments called as testicular lobules are present. Within these testicular lobules, about 2 to 3 seminiferous tubules are present. Now today we are going to study the descriptive structure of this seminiferous tubule. Each testis is having 250 small compartments, testicular lobules, and each testicular lobule is comprising 2 to 3 seminiferous tubules. Now children, these seminiferous tubules, they all move out from testis in a small tube, in a small connective, and these small tube-like structures are called as tubuli recti. I hope you are seeing in the diagram seminiferous tubules inside the testicular lobule. These seminiferous tubules moving out into this pipe-like structure. These pipe-like structures are called as tubuli recti. Now this tubuli recti, very fine tubes, they meet together at a place in the mediastinum testis. This word also you are familiar with. In the mediastinum testis, all these tubuli recti, they meet together and they form a part called as rete testis. Rete testis, this word is also familiar, we have discussed before. So rete testis. This rete testis is opening into very fine blue color tubules, you can see. I have drawn with blue color. These blue color tubes are called as vasa efferentia. Vasa efferentia. This vasa efferentia is moving out into a very highly coiled-like structure, and this coiled-like structure is called as epididymis. And this epididymis will move out through the inguinal canal into the intra-abdominal cavity, and this portion is called as vasa deferentia. I will repeat the parts again, children. This is a testis, wall of testis. Then about 250 small testicular lobules. Within each testicular lobule, 2 to 3 seminiferous tubules are present. These seminiferous tubules open into tube-like structure called as tubuli recti. This tubuli recti meet at a connective, meet at a junction, which is called as rete testis. This rete testis opens into a tube called as vasa efferentia. Vasa efferentia opening into a highly coiled structure called as epididymis, and epididymis will be opening into vasa differentia, which will be making the rest of the male reproductive system. Now, this seminiferous tubule we are going to discuss in detail. Now, you can see that on the board, a descriptive structure of the seminiferous tubule has been shown. Children, suppose that this is a seminiferous tubule, a long tube. I have pulled the tube and it is straight now. Now this tube, this seminiferous tubule, I am cutting it in a transverse form. I am cutting it in this way. So this transverse form, when I have cut and I am seeing it in this form. So this is the structure. This is the structure. So what is there? This was seminiferous tubule. Now I have cut the tubule in this transverse section, and then I am turning the section in this way, and then I am seeing that what is inside this part. So this is what your structure is shown on the board of the seminiferous tubule. Now, what are the things which we are going to study in this? We are going to study about Sertoli cells. You can see I have written inside the diagram. I have written Leydig cells. Then this complete is seminiferous tubule. I have written ST over here. ST means seminiferous tubule. Then I have drawn in between a small lumen. Lumen means small cavity, small opening, vacant space. So this is your lumen. Then you can see I have drawn small ball-like structures. These small balls are spermatogonium cells. So these are the few things which are very important to be known. So I'll zoom the diagram on the board little later, but the names are what which is very important for us to know in the beginning only in the topic seminiferous tubule is what are the important terms. The first term is Leydig cells. Now these are the special type of cells which are present inside the seminiferous tubule. Now this Leydig cell was discovered by Franz Leydig in 1850. Franz Leydig was a German anatomist. Anatomist means he was a scientist who was studying the anatomy of the internal structures. Anatomy means to study the internal structure of any organ, of any part. So this seminiferous tubule, the internal structure of this seminiferous tubule was studied by Franz Leydig in 1850. Then the second important cell which we are going to study in this topic is your Sertoli cells. These are also very important cells which was discovered by Enrico Sertoli in 1865. Enrico Sertoli was an Italian physiologist. So these was studied by Sertoli cells was discovered by Enrico Sertoli in 1865. Leydig cell was discovered by Franz Leydig in 1850. Franz Leydig was German anatomist and Enrico Sertoli was an Italian physiologist. Now moving ahead, we will be studying about spermatogonium cells. Then we will be studying that what is lumen and the detailed structure of the seminiferous tubule. Now children, it's very important for us to know the difference between Leydig cell and Sertoli cells. What is the main difference between Leydig cell and Sertoli cells? First, all basics I will be explaining. Then I will be explaining the internal structure, the anatomy of the seminiferous tubule. So, what is the difference between Leydig cell and Sertoli cells? Leydig cells. The another name for Leydig cell in your textbook is mentioned interstitial cells. Interstitial cells. Inter means in between. Now children, this is a broad diagram which is showing all the parts of the seminiferous tubule. Then you can see that I have drawn here. This is also a seminiferous tubule. This is also seminiferous tubule. This one is also seminiferous tubule. I haven't drawn the internal structure in this parts. So there are many cells. There are many seminiferous tubules over here. Now, these Leydig cells are present in between the seminiferous tubule. Seminiferous tubule and seminiferous tubule. Leydig cell is present in between. Seminiferous tubule and seminiferous tubule. Leydig cell is present in between. So, Leydig cells are present in between the cells, in between the seminiferous tubules. That is why it is called as interstitial cells. It is present in between two seminiferous tubules, in between the seminiferous tubules. So this is your Leydig cells. So location of Leydig cell is outside the seminiferous tubule. But second is Sertoli cells. You can see that this is a cell which is located inside the seminiferous tubule. Sertoli cells are located inside the seminiferous tubule and Leydig cells are located outside the seminiferous tubule. Sertoli cells located inside the seminiferous tubules are responsible for nutrition, for providing nourishment to the developing sperms, to the developing spermatozoa. These Sertoli cells are also called as supportive cells, or it is also called as nurse cells. Supportive cells, why? Because this Sertoli cells will be supporting the development of the spermatozoa. And why it is called as nurse cells? Because it is providing nourishment. It is taking care of the developing spermatozoa. So, Sertoli cells are present inside the seminiferous tubule and it is providing nourishment and it is taking care for the development of developing spermatozoon, for the development of sperms. Now, Leydig cells are present outside the seminiferous tubule and these Leydig cells are responsible for secretion of testosterone hormone, which is the main hormone of the male reproductive system. So, Leydig cells are responsible for secretion of testosterone hormone. Similarly, your Sertoli cells are also secreting two important type of proteins, two important type of chemicals. One of the chemical which is secreted by Sertoli cell is ABP. ABP, androgen binding protein. So, Sertoli cells are secreting androgen binding protein ABP, which is helping in concentrating the testosterone which is secreted by Leydig cell, so that the development of the sperms can be done, can take place, can happen inside seminiferous tubule in proper way. Your Sertoli cells, again I repeat, it is secreting ABP, which is allowing the testosterone hormone to concentrate at a place so that they can develop the spermatozoon, sperms. And the second protein, the second chemical which is secreted by Sertoli cell is inhibin. Inhibin word itself is meant with inhibit. Inhibit means to stop, to block. So, this inhibin secretion allows, it commands or it requests the hypothalamus to stop its function, stop the function of the chemicals so that the further development inside the seminiferous tubule would not happen. Means that the production of sperms would stop now. How many sperms would be producing? And excessive of everything is not good. So that is why your production of spermatozoon or sperms. Now children, I hope the main basics are clear now, that your seminiferous tubules are made up of your various parts, that is your Sertoli cells, Leydig cells, spermatogonium cells, lumen is there, then various types of concepts were there which was very necessary for you to know in the beginning. And now we will be moving to the detailed internal structure of the seminiferous tubule. Children, you can see that I have drawn the diagram of seminiferous tubule and I have zoomed it also. Now, few minutes back I was explaining you all that these are all seminiferous tubules. Here I have drawn the internal descriptive part and here I haven't shown. I have just tried to show that many of the seminiferous tubules are present. Now in the internal structure, when we are going to study in detail, so here children you can see the outer layer. This is the outer layer of seminiferous tubule, outer wall of seminiferous tubule. And this outer wall of seminiferous tubule is called as basal lamina. This is basal lamina, outer wall. Now we will be moving to the internal part, inner side of the seminiferous tubule, to the inner lining of the tubule. The inner lining of the tubule is made up of germinal epithelial cells. Germinal epithelial cells. So these germinal epithelial cells are lining up the seminiferous tubule and they are responsible for the production of two important types of cells. Inside the seminiferous tubule, there are only two types of important cells. What are those? The first one is spermatogonium cell and the second one is Sertoli cells. Rest, nothing is present inside the seminiferous. The whole seminiferous tubule, if I say, then this is your basal lamina and then here your epithelial lining is present and this epithelial lining is going to form two types of cells, that is your spermatogonium cells and your Sertoli cells. Now this we are going to study in detail. Now children, you can see I have drawn here at the basal lamina to the inner lining, I have drawn the small circles and these small circles are spermatogonium cells. Now these spermatogonium cells will be dividing and they will be forming, they will be developing into spermatozoon, or we call it as a sperms. So the development of the sperm is taking place here. In detail, that how your spermatogonium cells are developing into sperms, we will be studying during the gametogenesis topic that we have to study later. So there we will be studying that how these spermatogonium cells will be changing into sperms. But for little information, these spermatogonium cells are dividing, they are forming there by the division, by the cell division, mitosis. A large number of spermatogonium cells are formed here in the inner lining of the seminiferous tubule by mitosis, cell division. So as a result of mitosis, spermatogonium cells are formed. Now these spermatogonium cells will be dividing, will be moving to the second phase of cell division, that is your meiosis. Now these spermatogonium cells will be moving with the first meiosis and second meiosis, and as a result of which 4 spermatids will be formed, and these spermatids will be developing into spermatozoon or sperms. So children, you can see here these are spermatogonium cells. Then I have drawn your spermatogonium cells are dividing into 2 cells. Then these 2 cells are dividing into 4 cells. Then these 4 cells are dividing and developing, and these are developing into sperms. Here in the detailed structure we will be studying that how the section is there, how the development is taking place, and then these sperms are released into the lumen, into the central cavity, central space, and this space is called as lumen. After the development of sperms inside the seminiferous tubule, when these sperms are released into the lumen of the seminiferous tubule, the process is called as spermiation. Spermiation. Spermiation is a process by which the developed, mature sperms, they are released into the lumen of seminiferous tubule. Now from here, these lumen, the sperms will be moving to the tubuli recti, then to the retitextis, then from retitextis the sperms will be moving to vasa efferentia, then from there to epididymis, from epididymis the sperms will be moving to vas deferentia, and from vas deferentia it will be moving to the urethra or urinogenital duct, and from there into the pineal duct, that is your penis. So this was the pathway. In the last video we have discussed that what was the pathway of the sperm. So sperms which are formed, which are developed inside the seminiferous tubule, they passing through mitosis and meiosis cell division, these spermatogonium cells changes into sperms, then sperms are released inside the lumen of the seminiferous tubule, and these sperms are carried to the female genital duct or female reproductive system, passing through the different male reproductive system. Now, Sertoli cells which are present here, will be giving your nutrition to the developing spermatogonium cells. And the Leydig cells here, present in between the two seminiferous tubule, will be secreting testosterone hormone. And this testosterone hormone will be helping the development of the spermatogonium into spermatozoon or sperms. Now children, this is the transverse section which we have drawn. Now suppose if I cut this section. Now suppose if I am cutting this section of the seminiferous tubule. If this much portion I am cutting it, then I will show it here in the next diagram in detail that how the development and the Sertoli cells are processing, or they are completing their developmental process inside the seminiferous tubule. Now children, this is the diagram. It is a cross section in a broad enlarged manner to explain you all that how the spermatogonium cells inside the seminiferous tubules are developing. Now here you can see that I have drawn this diagram, this portion. I have cut a cross section from here. Suppose this section I have cut and I have placed it over here to explain. Now the basal part, this bottom part, this base part is called as basal lamina. Then here I have drawn a triangular shaped cells. These are Sertoli cells. These are Sertoli cells. Now children, at the bottom you can see I have drawn one single cell. I told you that the inner germinal epithelium of the seminiferous tubule, they are responsible for producing spermatogonium cells. So from the inner lining, spermatogonium cell is developed. This is a spermatogonium cell I have drawn separately. Now this spermatogonium cell divides, and then they divides by mitosis, and here your cells are formed. Suppose here one cell is there, I can draw one more cell over here. One cell will divide to develop into two cells by mitosis. This spermatogonium cell undergoes mitosis division to form two cells over here. You can see. These cells are called as primary spermatocyte. Spermatogonium divides to form primary spermatocyte. Now this primary spermatocyte undergoes meiosis cell division, and passing through meiosis first and meiosis second, your secondary spermatocytes are formed. This is spermatogonium, I am repeating it. These cells are primary spermatocyte. These are secondary spermatocyte. Now these secondary spermatocytes will develop into spermatid. They will develop into spermatid. And this spermatid will be developing into spermatozoon or sperms. Now in the developmental process of primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, spermatid, spermatozoa, these Sertoli cells are nursing them. These Sertoli cells are supporting them. These Sertoli cells are helping them to develop and become mature by providing nourishment, by providing nutrition so that they can develop in a proper manner. Here the developmental stages of the spermatozoon is in your initial stage. The sperms has developed now. They are now free to be released into the rest part of the male reproductive system. So children, I will repeat it again, this all parts that how the development of spermatogonium cells will be taking place. So this was the diagram of Sertoli cells with the germ cells. Children, these are the various labelings I have mentioned in this diagram now. So this was your basal lamina. This is your spermatogonia cell. Spermatogonia cell developing into primary spermatocyte. Primary spermatocyte developing into secondary spermatocyte. Secondary spermatocyte embedded inside the Sertoli cells, providing nourishment from it, and they are converting into spermatid. And these spermatids, after developing, they are converting into spermatozoa or sperms. Now these sperms will be released into the lumen of the seminiferous tubule. And I told you that the process by which your spermatozoa or sperms are released into the lumen of seminiferous tubule is called as spermiation. Now children, what will happen after this? The spermatozoa or sperms will be moving to the tubuli recti, another part, the next part of the testis. So sperms which are released now after some spermiation process inside the lumen. Here your seminiferous tubules inside the testis. Here sperms are produced now. Now sperms produced inside the seminiferous tubules will be released into the lumen by spermiation process, and it will enter into the tubuli recti. This portion. Sperms will be floating into tubuli recti. Then from tubuli recti, those sperms or spermatozoa will be moving into reti testis. Now from reti testis, the spermatozoa or sperms will be moving into vasa efferentia. This pathway. So sperms produced here will be moving into your tubuli recti. From tubuli recti, it will be moving into reti testis. From reti testis, it will be moving into vasa efferentia. From vasa efferentia, it will be moving into your epididymis, and from epididymis, it will be moving into vas deferens. And from vas deferens, it will be entering into the male reproductive system. Over there, this was the part which we have discussed today in detail about the seminiferous tubule. Hope that today's session was clearly understood by you all, and I have tried to explain each and every point with the help of diagram. So go through the video nicely and try to understand each and every point, because the seminiferous tubule and the production of sperms how it is taking place is very important in the whole male reproductive system part. So try to understand it. Thank you.